Today's video, we're going to look at Premier African Minerals. It's been exactly 1 week since we last covered it. There's been a lot of turmoil in the markets. We're just going to cover this stock. We have an RNS and a video to go through. What's the crack, everyone? Welcome back to Buy Wholesale. I hope, of course, you're all well. Today's video is about Premier African Minerals. First off, let's just have a look at how the stock has performed over the week. Recently, we have seen highs in and around 24% up since our last video. However, we are currently down 4% since then, with real big sell-offs coming on Monday. We have seen it sink down as low as 23% in sort of the day and a half time of recording. Not great, but at the same time, you know, this thing's had a good run. Let's be honest, this thing has had a great run. We're still up over 100%. We've still doubled our money in a month. It's just taken a natural cool off for me. We actually have an RNS that came out that yesterday which was positive. I don't think that's really affected the stock too much. I just think it's had this natural cool off. Plus we know of the chaos that's going on around the world, Russia, and I'll share the video that I did on Sunday, my thoughts on it. I had a bit of a brief look at how markets react to war. If you're interested in seeing all that, it's there. Plus I did my video yesterday for the look ahead for the week ahead, and I've looked and talked about the Russia update. We've got an update sort of last night that it looks like there has been, I wouldn't say an invasion per se, because they kind of went into free states or whatever, but it's on the brink of huge issues. The UK, which obviously Premier African Minerals is on the AIM London Stock Exchange, so not great that they put sanctions in, and I think the markets have reacted obviously negatively to that news. So we'll say no more about it. The videos are there if you want to hear about it, but this is the details here, all the different grades. You can go in, check out the RNS if you want to get into the technical side of things. Technically, the grade is there or about slightly higher than what we've been talking about. So all of this is good. We do have a video that came out today by George Roche, which I'll show you now.
Seeing two holes, grades still above that average grade of 1.06 that we spoke about last time on the previous resource. So is this continuing to be consistent, continuing to build that resource there at Zulu?
Yes, I believe so. These couple of results now are in an area that is on strike. So the important thing about these results is the lithium is very good. It's above the grade that as you've already noted, as is contained in our resource statement. They're on strike. From our point of view, it's going in the right direction. It's going to be, we believe, strongly supportive of the DFS work we're doing, and we're pretty pleased with what we see.
Okay, good. So this is obviously results from two boreholes. There are further boreholes still to come then?
Oh yes, many still to come. I mean, but you know, grinding up over 20 meters of intersection takes quite a bit of work as well, and it's quite a bit of time.
His back must be broke.
They are big intersections that we're seeing at the moment, and it also takes a long time to drill through them.
Yeah, okay. And would the plan be to continue to filter that news through in drips and drabs, or will you compile it together and make a big announcement? Do you have an idea of how you might report these?
I think that when we can get to a point where we are able to update on the resource statement and give an indication of how we want to improve, for example, from inferred to indicated within the resource statement. I think once we can get to that stage, it won't be necessary to continuously small announcements with...
The point that keeps getting mentioned is the ongoing discussions with a potential partner. It does keep being mentioned. Do the results and the grades here help with these discussions?
You know, I've made the observation before that from a geological perspective, a fair amount of the DD work has already been done. And I don't think that these ongoing results are necessarily adding or subtracting anything to that aspect of it. It's pretty clear when you get to site and when you're with good structural geos, it's pretty clear to see where this deposit is likely to go, to see the upside of it and so on. So there seems to have been more of a focus on how much bigger and where this thing can go to than necessarily is one or two additional boreholes going to make that much difference. Are much more of an accounting and a legal and this and that and so on. You know, those are the issues being dealt with, and a very good example of it. I can give you one or two wonderful examples of it. Trying to convert Zimbabwean currency.
Your man hasn't a notion of a fella, like, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Like
exchange rate fluctuations along the way, and try and get all of this to be compliant with IFRS and so on and so forth. And
he's thinking, should he get the power fish? That's what he's thinking.
Potential partner. But are there any comparable projects or comparable deals that maybe you could mention or allude to that might help shareholders maybe understand a bit more of the picture?
I'd be in a huge amount of trouble if I answered that. I really would, because I think that I shouldn't really, it would be beyond confidentialities and so on if I were to do that, because there are clearly would be very easy comparables to start making in terms of investment and the way other people have invested into these projects. So, yeah, I'm going to, if you don't mind, not
decline the question.
So that one, I'm going to decline that one if you don't mind.
That's fine, George. I'll ask it anyway. So the final point I just want to pick up on is rubidium.
That's the video by George there. I'm really excited about what he's saying about the potential deal. I do think he's being cheeky. I don't know if he preps the guy for these questions or what, but either way, to him asking that question and George's answer per se, you know, in a roundabout way, he's pretty much saying, look at the other deals that have been done here that we've talked about in the other video, and I'll share the link to that video where you can go in and see the potential share price that this could get to based on a deal of how X amount of million based on other miners that are sort of the deals that they've struck for similar sort of resource. So that's a good video to check out as well. This is just an update. I wanted to bring that to you. That's the RNS, and they have been active on the Twitter feed. They sort of say that they support shareholders. We had a sell-off last week. And a lot of people de-ramping the stock, and that's George just sort of saying, you know, there's a lot of manipulation going on, be wary of that, and I reiterate that as well. Sort of stock that gets interest usually gets short interest. Unfortunately, you can see just some pictures here of core drilling going on. That's the update that you can go on and read there. We just listened to George talk about it. The team and just generally in the forums that I'm in, they all seem to be happy. Oh, there's Keith. I realised I wasn't following by Keith. And just to reiterate on top of the video, he did also say this in a statement. Our current objective is to secure direct trade investment into Zulu from a potential leading industry partner. And while there is no certainty that a final investment agreement will be concluded, negotiations together with legal cooperation and technical due diligence continue. You heard him say it there. He feels that the due diligence being done is more just a case of getting the money situation and some sort of agreement. It seems to be that there is something close. But we have to be wary because these are only words. We do have nothing concrete. And just to put the disclaimer out there, we're up a hell of a lot of money in a month. We're doubled our money in a month. And you have to understand, this is all based on updates. This is all based on almost rumors. There's nothing absolutely concrete. It's all just speculation. He's saying the right things, and you're reading between the lines. It's easy to make the conclusions that we have made. However, we have made these conclusions based on no actual real facts, other than the grade and just putting two and two together. Some more pictures talking about the EPO here. That is the interview that has just came out today as live. It was 16 minutes ago. Just to wrap up then, if we look at the charts, we can see that on the day chart, the stock is still a buy. It's been a buy since the 29th of December. And even if you were still in this trade and hadn't sold out, you would be up double your money. And that is why I offer the swing trading course. If you want to learn all this and get access to this buy and sell indicator, amongst other things, click the link down below. You can join that. If you're just even interested in getting in the Discord where we talk about these types of stocks, feel free to also do that. Again, link is down below. But that's just been a lovely trade. I've been swinging in and out of it. You just kind of know my plans. I've been stop loss in and out, I have about a third of my position currently left in Premier African Minerals. I have stripped bits out due to the uncertainty over the last week, due to Russia and all that. So treading carefully, I'm looking to top up. I have a buy limit set at 0.35. If it were to trigger that, it looked like it did go down to that, but for whatever reason it didn't trigger on trading 212. But if it can trigger that, I will be putting a substantial amount of money in at those levels. I feel like that's a good level to be buying at. But we can see there has been a bit of a downturn on the MACD RSI. We can see that the sell symbols incline of our moving averages is unfortunately dipping. So there is a wee bit of a turnaround. We'll keep an eye on it. It has had one hell of a game today, 8%. We will see what way it goes, but it's still a strong buy. I mean, if you were in this trade, I wouldn't be closing this trade, and I haven't closed this trade for multiple reasons. I'm not closing it because the charts are still saying to be in it, but also fundamentally, this type of news, no chart can predict George Rose come out tomorrow and going, deal's done, guys. And the thing just shooting to the moon. So that's why I'm still in it, trying to trade it a wee bit, but I'm still leaving a substantial amount of cash in it. That's the way I'm playing Premier African Minerals, regardless of what's going on in Russia. At the end of the day, I'm a big believer you have to be in the market. You can't be too fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy and all of that. Premier African Minerals, Coal Minerals, these types of stocks, if the news that we think is coming comes during all this turmoil, the thing will still go up massively. So bear that in mind. Do your own due diligence, manage your risk, of course. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please like, subscribe, do that. Also, you can buy me a coffee, all that kind of stuff. It's all down there. Check out the links, and I'll catch you in the next video. Yeah.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
Coincidence. Yeah,
Coincidence.
something that happens by chance, I think not.